Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Military Academies and ROTC Virtual College Fair. We're so excited to just learn more, and we thank you so much for joining us. We are really excited you are here. Before we get started, we do have a few housekeeping items to note. First, if you have any questions at all, feel free to submit those through the Q&A. Our presenters and representatives are here to answer any questions that you have throughout our session today. Your camera and microphone are off. You are muted and your video is off. The panelists can't see or hear you. Feel free to sign up for more sessions. There are more sessions happening today, and so we are excited to share more sessions that are going on. So feel free to sign up for where you registered for this one. And lastly, this session is being recorded. All sessions will be available a week from today at strivescan.com/Hawaii. So without further ado, I'll get out of the way and introduce Lieutenant Colonel Taku, and he will take it from here.
Good morning, Lieutenant Colonel Bob Takao from Punahou School. I'm a junior ROTC instructor and serve in a capacity of advising students for admissions to various academies, West Point, the Air Force Academy, and the Naval Academy at Punahou School, and as well as any student out there that may be interested in contacting me. We are very fortunate to also have with us this morning representatives of each of the service academies, including the Coast Guard Academy and the Merchant Marine Academy, and also Cal Maritime Academy, and we welcome all of them on board today. Some of these folks are from the East Coast right now, and others are here locally. What we are going to do is enable each of them to present for about 4 to 5 minutes each about the various aspects of their opportunities that they can provide for each of you prospective candidates. We encourage you to ask them questions via the Q&A. And they should have their contact information in the Q&A box so that you may be able to get a hold of them in case you aren't able to ask them questions or think of questions later on. I'll include my information in there as well, since I serve everybody throughout the state in different roles and capacities. And then I know all these folks that are on the net today. I will definitely get your question to the right person that can help assist you. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce Lieutenant Colonel Dan Dorado, who will start with West Point.
Good morning. My name is Lieutenant Colonel Retired Daniel Dorado. I am the state coordinator for Hawaii, and I represent admissions on Hawaii's field force. Now, just for you candidates that are curious about what the field force is, the field force is comprised of volunteers like myself who help candidates like you navigate the application process for West Point. The other academies use different terminology for that, but for West Point, we're known as field force officers. So if you see an email or communication from one of us from the field force, that's who we are. I have 3 slides here this morning. This first slide captures basically the 4 requirements you need in a general way to gain admission into West Point. I'll talk about the candidate application and the CFA in the next slide, but those 2, number 1 and 2, comprise 100% of the candidate application process. Number 3 is you also need a congressional or service-connected nomination, as with other academies, and you also need to be qualified medically through DOD-MERB. So this slide basically gives you a timeline. You need 1, 2, and 3 complete by January 31st of the year that you're competing for admission. And then the physical and medical qualification is due that same year by April 15th. Okay, the candidate application consists of the academic, leadership, and the candidate fitness assessment. So within your application, academics are weighted at 60%. So this is what the admissions board is looking for in a general sense. Your high school GPA, the kind of high school courses that you're taking, whether or not they're normal courses or AP courses. One of the big changes coming up for this year is the SAT and ACT testing. In the past, West Point required an SAT with the writing portion, but as of this summer, the SAT is no longer going to be offering the writing portion. So if you take the SAT, there is no requirement for the writing portion for that test. However, if you decide to take the ACT, the writing requirement is required. So just keep that in mind. And here's some examples of what West Point looks for in terms of leadership. Again, this carries about 30% weight in your total candidate application. So we're looking for ways that you develop yourself and your leadership skills while you're in high school, whether that is through participating in sports as a team captain or co-captain, whether you're involved in scouting or boys or girls state. Junior ROTC is a great way to develop yourself leadership-wise. And of course, we're looking at your school official evaluations or your SOEs, of which you'll need 4 from your teachers in high school. And so they'll also provide some perspective on your ability to lead while you're taking their classes. 10% of your application is the candidate fitness assessment. Now, it seems like a small percentage, but if you don't do well on the CFA, this can really affect your chances of gaining a nomination into one of the academies, especially West Point, because West Point is the only academy that requires you to submit videos of your pull-ups and your push-ups. So it's very important, if you're interested in gaining acceptance into West Point, that you practice the CFA now. Get used to doing these exercises and be familiar with what the requirement is. And lastly, there is an interview process. That's the last thing you see on this slide to the lower right. The interview process is completed by myself or one of the field force members in Hawaii. And this is your opportunity to tell us why you want to go to West Point and whether or not you'd be a good fit for the academy. Please take a screenshot or a picture of this slide with your iPhones. This is the website that you can go to open up your file at West Point. So once you open up that file and complete the candidate questionnaire, I'll be able to see you in the system and I can reach out to you. I encourage you to reach out to me if you have any questions. That's my email down at the bottom of the screen. If you're serious about serving as an officer in the Army and you apply to West Point, I also encourage you to apply to the Army ROTC program as well. And you'll learn more about that in the preceding briefers.
Thanks, Dan. We appreciate
Naval Academy.
I'd like to turn that over now to the United States Naval Academy and Lieutenant Fraser.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for having me. So I've got a couple of slides as well. They should be displaying for you now. First off, in 2014, graduated of the Naval Academy, did aviation after graduation, and now I'm back working as an admissions counselor. So I work here in Annapolis and work with all candidates currently in the Region 4 area. So Hawaii is one of those, as well as the Pacific Northwest, Guam, and some others. So a little bit about the Naval Academy. We're located in Annapolis, Maryland, about 25 miles outside of both Baltimore and Washington, D.C. We have everything that you could ever need while on the yard. We like to say that for 4 years, you could get away with never leaving, though it's not recommended. We also have a very diverse student body of midshipmen is what we call it. So from all 50 states, territories, we have foreign countries. So it's a really cool and unique place that you get to interact with people that you may never have been able to before. We offer 26 majors as well as several language minors. As you can see, we divide these into 3 separate groups. We've got our engineering and weapons, math and science, and then humanities and social sciences on the right. I myself was a political science major, so I can attest to the fact that you don't have to follow a major simply because you have a service selection that you want. You do something that interests you and that you enjoy, because you're going to be spending a lot of time studying and working on homework on it. So it's better to enjoy it so that you perform well and really get something out of it. We also have a ton of athletics, whether those are varsity all the way down to our intramurals that are in between companies throughout our brigade. It's an awesome opportunity, and every single person that is in the Brigade of Midshipmen will participate in athletics of some type, because we really value physical fitness just as much as mental fitness. So the online application for us looks very, very similar to all of the other service academies. I won't go too in depth into it. Just know that we do have the SAT, ACT requirement that will be going back in place. You may have heard that this past year we were test flexible. As of right now, there's been no decision on that being the case this coming year. So anticipate needing to take those tests again. And then everything else pretty much is the same. You will need a nomination. You'll need all of your grades, your GPA, and everything sent in. So those are all very important things to get ready and send in to us. So here's some of our advice for admissions. We don't have a minimum GPA. We just want to see that you're a well-rounded candidate, that you perform well in your classes, and that you've got a strong foundation in both math and science. Those are going to serve you very well once you get to the academy. And then any AP honors and IB classes you can take to challenge yourself will really put you above and beyond. They're going to both help your application as well as prepare you for the rigors of the study that you'll have once you get to the academy. And again, I want to highlight, we're looking for someone that's well-rounded. So we want you to be a leader in your class or have a job that you work well at and you do well. We want you to be in sports or be in JROTC or in band and do things that you enjoy and perform well in. We also offer summer programs. So these are for a little bit different grade levels. Our STEM program, which you see on the left, is for the rising 9th, 10th, and 11th graders. And our summer seminar is for those rising seniors. These are both really great opportunities to experience life at the academy. On the STEM side, you'll get to introduce yourself to the STEM faculty and the other midshipmen. So it's a really awesome opportunity to kind of dip your toes in the water and see if you like what we've got. Here are our websites and our social media pages. I am also going to be sending my contact information in the chat as soon as I'm done presenting. My final recommendation to you is understand that no matter whether you go to an ROTC program, whatever service academy it is, they're all incredibly important. And you're going to get a great education. So my advice to you is find what it is that you want to do after you graduate, because that's where you're going to be dedicating your life, because we're all commissioned officers and that's what's truly important. So thanks for your time and I will pass it over.
Awesome. So, hey everyone, I am Second Lieutenant Ludwig Oliver. I am here with you guys to represent the Air Force Academy. So a little bit about myself. So I was actually born and raised in Davao City, Philippines, and moved to the US later down in life, and actually enlisted after high school because my grades weren't great. You know, that's just what it was for me, at least. But while I was enlisted, I actually went ahead and put an application for the Air Force Academy because I had great leadership who really pushed me in that direction. And I found myself graduating from the Air Force Academy as a member of the class of 2020. So I'm a very recent graduate. I'm actually headed off to pilot training here in May. So I'm very excited about that. I studied computer engineering while at USAFA, and I actually got to do a lot of cool things while I was there. I got to go travel nationally and internationally for both volleyball and a lot of STEM and STEM research, which is really cool, as well as just a national and international conferences to represent the Air Force and the US as a whole, which was really cool because for a guy like me who was really new to the US as well as just new to the English, the language of English, it was really cool to be able to represent the country that took me in and got me to do a lot of cool things. So I don't have any slides for you guys today because I knew both Army and Navy were going to be here representing very well with their slides. And to tell you the truth, it is exactly the same for us as it is for them, because, you know, these schools, we all represent, we all serve the same goal, and we want the same type of person, good leaders of character. And at the end of the day, that's what we ask for you guys to be. And how do you do that? How do you exactly become leaders of character? One, you know, working hard for yourself. So that starts with your academics. That is a big determination for you on whether or not you get into some to the service academies, even especially Air Force. Not only do you have to be academically prepared, you have to be athletically prepared. So the CFA is one big component that was mentioned by both service academies already. And I will tell you now, the Air Force Academy also requires the CFA, and we don't have any lower of a number because we are the Air Force. I know we get the jokes that we are the Chair Force, but I'm going to tell you now, we still have a very, very important, physical requirement to serve in the military because we are still serving our nation in that capacity. To continue with that is your character and leadership, and how do you showcase your character and leadership? I always recommend people, hey, pick 2 to 3 clubs that you're very passionate about, things that you want to work on, things that you might want to broaden your horizon with. Get good at it, as well as become leaders in it, right? Often we often think we want to have a big breadth of experience, but sometimes 2 or 3 skills that you're awesome at and can really put on a plate is a lot better than someone who's just involved in everything and might not be able to put something on the table. So again, that is my biggest recommendation for the leadership and character portion, as well as the nomination, right? So again, I just said 4 things that pretty much both West Point and Annapolis did reference, and that is the same for us. I will put information on the chat about our website, to where you can really get the detail and dive into via our academyadmissions.com website. But to close off, what really differentiates us to other service academy is our focus. We are the Air Force, and really we also are now the Space Force. When you graduate from the Air Force Academy, you'll be going out to either the Air Force or the Space Force. And fun fact, you can actually cross commission into the Navy or the Army or Coast Guard if that's something you want to do. I have a friend who's going to be flying in the Navy, and I have a friend who is an infantry officer in the Marines, and I have a friend who's going to be an infantry officer in the Army, all who graduated from the Air Force Academy. So the Academy is a place for you to learn, develop, and grow as a person, as a student, and as a leader, to hopefully serve in the military, whether that's the Air Force, the Space Force, or any other branch, to say the least. And to just really put the nail in the coffin, what really is cool about USAFA is we are located in Colorado Springs, Colorado. So you're not as close to the East Coast as a lot of the other service academies, as well as our opportunities for you to learn how to fly, to lead in the cyberspace or in space, and just get to understand what the mission of the Air Force is. And I'll go ahead and close off on that. Again, I will post on the chat a lot of the information that you guys can use to reach out to us if you have any more questions after today's event. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Lieutenant Oliver, and for all of our Service Academy representatives at the Navy, the Army, and the Air Force. We want to take a brief transition now and go to the University of Hawaii for the ROTC programs that are available there. We have representatives from the Army ROTC and the Naval ROTC detachments there. The Air Force ROTC program was offered an invitation to appear today. Unfortunately, they're not able to be here with us. They have reached out to a number of high schools and a number of students independently. And so again, if you have questions about the Air Force ROTC at the University of Hawaii, you can please direct those towards me and I'll relay that on to their staff there. I would like to introduce Lieutenant Colonel Molander, who will talk about the University of Hawaii Army ROTC program.
Good morning, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Molander, the Professor of Military Science here at Army ROTC at the University of Hawaii. So, see if we can, there we go. So there are about 273 senior ROTC programs across the country with a plethora of partner and crosstown schools. Here at UH, we have agreements with Hawaii Pacific University, Chaminade University, West Oahu, and we even have an agreement with the American Samoa Community College. So ROTC is an elective course that focuses on character and leader development. You know, much like the academies talked about, character and leader development is a theme across all of the officer producing programs. So we typically have 5 touch points a week, no matter which program you attend. And by program, I mean school, whether it's UH or any other school across the country. Those consist of, sorry, I got a little too far here. Let me go back one slide. Okay, there we go. So we have regular classes, we have labs, and then we have physical training Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. And then each semester we have a field training exercise over a weekend, And then we also have a super lab, which usually occurs on a Saturday. That may be program specific. And then while you're in ROTC, really ROTC, as I said, is an elective. So your primary focus is your graduation, your major. You have to be taking accredited classes in accredited subject to graduate. Okay, so looking at the scholarship, we use the Scholar Athlete Leader model to evaluate scholarship potential. So you can see the list of basic requirements here for the 4-year national scholarship. Not listed here is the PMS or APMS interview, which is triggered once an applicant is deemed eligible. Cadet Command holds 3 high school scholarship boards a year, which are annotated at the bottom of the slide. So for this coming year, the first one will be in October, second one will be in January, and the third will be in March of 2022. So even if you do not receive a scholarship while in high school, don't give up. ROTC also offers on-campus scholarships ranging from 3.5 year to 2 years. So there's always an opportunity to get additional competition in for scholarship. So, talking about the athlete portion, I have the physical standards asterisk there. Much like the academies, we have a candidate fitness test. Not quite as challenging as the academies. So ours is about a minute of push-ups, a minute of curl-ups, which are similar to sit-ups, and then a 1 mile run. So that's the primary focus that we've had across the Army over the past, multitude of years, is 2 minutes of sit-ups, 2 minutes of push-ups, and then a 2 mile run. So it's kind of cutting all that in half. Now the Army is changing its PT test across the board, so there's more to follow on that. It's not completely official yet. And then, just getting involved in a multitude of activities while you're still in high school will most definitely help in your competition for a scholarship for ROTC. And then lastly, contact information. If you want to take a screenshot, picture, whatever, I also placed it into the chat. There are simultaneous membership program opportunities with the Guard and Reserve that can help further one's career in ROTC as well. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Lieutenant Colonel Takao.
Thanks so much, Shan. Everybody's doing a great job of staying on track. We'd like to introduce our newest ROTC program at the University of Hawaii, the Naval ROTC program, and Captain Nisbet.
Okay, thank you all for your interest in serving our nation in any of the armed forces, and have me on today to talk specifically about the NRTC program. I am Captain Donald Nisbet, call sign Biscuit, strike fighter pilot for 20 of the 31 years that I've been in the Navy. The NRTC mission is to develop midshipmen mentally, morally, and physically, and to imbue them with the highest ideals of duty, loyalty, and our core values of honor, courage, and commitment. Ultimately, the goal is to commission college graduates. So I'll say that again, commission college graduates. So the degree is up to you, so that you can serve as a commissioned officer in the naval forces. So that's Navy and Marine Corps, as either an ensign or second lieutenant. Originally founded in 1926, with the 6 units, we now have a student presence of over 6,200 midshipmen at 168 colleges and universities and 5 maritime schools. So that's what you see, the national map. And if you blow in, if you were to pick one of those balloons, it would have the unit information. The scholarship application process is entirely online. And let me, I'll show you. If you just bear with me for a second. There we go. If you just type in NROTC scholarship, it'll take you to the application website, and it's a national process. So it doesn't matter what school you plan on attending. It's a single online application, and it's entirely self-contained. So all of the steps required down to the checklist is on there. The window, the scholarship application window actually opens 1 April, and you can see there it will close 31 January of 2022. So you simply download the application checklist, and all of the information for applying, to include the schools that are eligible, as well as finding a local recruiter, are all located on this single website. And I've included my contact information for the University of Hawaii. We're the latest unit to stand up this coming fall semester. And if you have any questions either about the University of Hawaii program or the national program, you can reach out to me, or like I said, NROTC scholarship, just Google that, and it'll take you right to this page. So mahalo and good luck.
Thanks so much, Captain. We want to now transition again. So we've heard from the academies. We've heard from the ROTC departments at the University of Hawaii for the Army and the Naval. And now we want to switch over to opportunities from the United States Coast Guard Academy, the Merchant Marine Academy, and also Cal Maritime. So to kick off that segment from the Coast Guard Academy, representing them is Lieutenant Kekoa.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Kota Kekoa. I am a Kamehameha graduate 2010, and then Coast Guard Academy graduate 2015. So very similar to the other academies, except you asked, what's the Coast Guard? Thanks for asking. We fall under the Department of Homeland Security, so a little bit different as far as the application process itself. So, one moment. Okay, so the Coast Guard Academy is located in New London, Connecticut. It's about 2 hours east of New York City and about 2 hours west of Boston. According to US News and World Report, #1 regional college in the north, and then solid engineering program, just like the other academies. We are about a quarter the size of the Naval Academy, West Point and Air Force Academy at about 1,000 cadets. With that comes a smaller student to faculty ratio, and about the average class size is about anywhere from 16 to 20 cadets in each class. For student life, a little bit smaller, 9 majors currently offered, and we have 25 varsity sports and some club and intramural sports. All right, so very similar to the other service academies, however, I just had some deadlines and some slight differences for the application process. So we do not take the CFA, the candidate fitness assessment. We do the physical fitness assessment or examination that consists of a 2-minute cadence push-ups, 2-minute sit-ups, and 1.5-mile run. And unfortunately, we do not take the CFA as proper substance for the application itself. For early action, it'll be the October 15th of the year prior to entry. So for the seniors or the upcoming seniors, it'll be October 15th of this year. And then for regular admissions, it'll be January 29th of next year. All right, some contact information. So if you want to get to the URL, it's right there at the top, and I will put that also in the chat. I am actually not the admissions officer or related to the admissions department at the Academy currently. I'm currently a pilot at Coast Guard Air Station Cape Cod up here in Massachusetts. So please enjoy the warmth for me. There's my contact information as well. I'll also put Lieutenant Martineau, who is the actual admissions officer, and her information in the chat. And I just wanted to end it with, I think regardless of whatever path you choose, whether that's to enlist first or Service Academy or ROTC, I think they're all great options. One thing I will touch on that I don't think anybody touched on so far. So the different service academies will offer the preparatory school as an option. And so for myself, that's why I graduated high school in 2010, but didn't graduate the academy until 2015. The Coast Guard Academy said, hey, you know, we like you as a candidate. However, we want you to do another year of schooling. So they actually paid me to go to a preparatory school in New Mexico and do that for a year, pretty much just pass my classes, take a standardized test again, you know, don't get in trouble. And I was admitted into the following class. So each of the service academies do allow that. And sometimes they, or for most cadets or candidates, they have a sponsored program to where they'll pay you to go to prep school. But by no means does that mean that, you know, you can't go to one of those preparatory schools or a junior college that offers that preparatory training and preparedness for the academies themselves. So good luck with that. Enjoy the rest of high school. Be safe, everybody.
Thanks so much. And now for the Merchant Marine Academy, I'd like to introduce Lieutenant McCann.
Yes. Hi, I'm Lieutenant McCann, and I am one of the admissions officers here at the United States Merchant Marine Academy. And we are one of the 5 federal service academies. We are a little bit smaller than the DoD academies. I think the Coast Guard Academy is just a little bit smaller than us. We are located on the North Shore of Long Island. Our student size is only about 1,200 midshipmen. And at any given time, there's only about 800 students, 800 midshipmen here on campus. And I'll discuss why that is. I'm gonna skip around. What do? We consist of privately owned US registered merchant ships. We are that 4th line of defense. And in times of war, we will support the armed forces. When you graduate from Kings Point, you're going to earn 3 unique things. You're going to earn what we call the Triple Crown. You're going to earn a Bachelor of Science degree. So no matter what major you choose, everyone will graduate with that Bachelor's of Science degree. We are a very STEM-focused school. You'll receive a commission, and there's actually a lot of flexibility on how you fulfill that service obligation. And you will also receive a U.S. Coast Guard license for unlimited tonnage, either a 3rd mate or a 3rd assistant engineer. And this correlates to the type of major that you declare at the academy. So with the service obligation, when you're looking at these academies and ROTC programs, you're looking at those 4 years, but you're looking at those outcomes, your career after you graduate. So when you graduate from Kings Point, there's flexibility on that service obligation. It takes some time. The majority of our midshipmen will serve in the maritime industry and sail for 5 years after graduation, maintain that U.S. Coast Guard license that you receive for a minimum of 6 years. You will actually have to renew it every 5 years, and serve in the U.S. Navy Reserves as an ensign for a minimum of 8 years. So now about 70% of our graduates will go sailing and work in the maritime industry after graduation. But there is still an option to go active duty as an officer, either into the Air Force, the Army, Coast Guard, Marine Corps, Navy, and also the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. You don't have to decide this at any point during the application process or either in freshman, sophomore year. You don't have to decide until late junior year. And at the academy, you'll have access to liaisons to each of the branches so you can learn about each one and prepare for those selection boards so you're going to be competitive. Skip that one. Like I said before, we only have 5 majors and they're all STEM focused. So if you graduate with a major from the Department of Marine Transportation, you will receive a deck license. And if you receive a degree from the Department of Marine Engineering, you'll get an engine license. And to kind of visualize it, a deck license is everything above the water, and an engine license is everything below the water. That's just a very high level visual aspect. One of the big differences with our academy is sea year, sea duty. This is where we send all of our midshipmen out between junior and senior year on a US flag vessel for training. So the first time we send you out is sophomore year for a little over 100 days. Come back to campus, and then junior year, we're going to send you back out to sea again, for this time a little over 200 days. So you can expect to be off campus for 1 year. And what that means is that you're fitting a 4-year Bachelor of Science degree in 3 years. But this is definitely a unique life experience, and it is a paid internship. You're part of that crew, not just a student. And the average midshipman will travel to at least 18 countries and have the opportunity to circumnavigate. So definitely a unique life experience that many will never ever have, even after graduation. And it's quick with our admissions process. It's going to look very similar to the DoD academies with the academic qualification. The physical qualification, which is the CFA, it's the same thing as those DoD academies, but we do have different passing scores. So you have 2 official attempts. And then the medical qualification, this won't start until you're about 50% through the application process. So it's really important to start early, because it is a long, tedious application process. And of course, we do require a congressional nomination. This gives us the legal authority at the academy to appoint you. We accept congressional nominations from both state senators and from any congressional district in your state, not just the district that you live in. So I would say at this point in the application process, you want to identify your nomination sources and apply for the nomination simultaneously as the application to the academy. You don't want to wait for a nomination to then apply. It'll probably just be too late. And that's all I have for you. And I think I'm going to pass it off to Cal Maritime, and I'm going to put my contact information to follow up. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Lieutenant Brickman from Cal Maritime. And Lieutenant Brickman, if you're there, and he's bringing his slides up. Go ahead. And Lieutenant Brickman, your slide's up and you're good to go. If you'd like to go ahead and unmute. William's still having difficulty audio. Not sure. No. No. Not getting you. I don't know if you want to restart, and we'll just have to cut your time down a little bit. No. As he's attempting to, if you want to just go through your slides, but or maybe just restart and try to get the audio going again. So just take a moment to do that. And as he's trying to get through that and jump back on board with us, lots of information shared by lots of different great folks today, all looking for your best interests out there. It can be overwhelming with all of the different facets of all the different academies, all the different opportunities that are out there. One piece of advice that I'd give you all is just go back to those websites, go back to the University of Hawaii websites, go back to the the Coast Guard Academy, and all the Academy websites that provide you the latest and best and most accurate information. Avoid what you may find on social media, avoid where you may find unofficial sources, because things are changing all the time. Go ahead, William, if you're ready to go.
Yeah, you got me this time?
Good to go.
Okay, great. Here, I'll share again. Sorry for the delay, everybody. I'll try and speed this up since I cut in there. But as I mentioned before, my name is Lieutenant William Brickham. I am a 2012 graduate of the California State University Maritime Academy, or as we like to call it, Cal Maritime. So what is Cal Maritime? We are what I would refer to as the best of both worlds. We're a hybrid campus. We're a California State University, just like San Francisco State, San Diego State, and we're also a professional academy. There's no military commitment at our school, but you can choose to join the military through the Strategic Sealift Officer Program or Navy ROTC, which I'll talk about in a little bit. So our school is industry specific. We train our students specifically for careers in the maritime industry, whether that's ashore working in the Port of Honolulu or working on ships. We're an international experience, our school. We have a 100% internship rate, which means all of our students will go on internships every summer, and most of the time they're overseas. Me, in my time at Cal Maritime, I went to about 15 different countries in those 4 years. We have the highest employment rate in the CSU system. 94% of our graduates have a job within 3 months of graduation. We also have the highest salary rate. Our alumni have the highest average salary of any university, public or private, in the Western United States. You can look to our average salary is about $81,000 a year, and our engineer and deck license majors can look at making over $100,000 a year straight out of school. So what can you study at Cal Maritime? Typically, our majors are marine transportation, which you can work towards becoming a ship's captain. Our applications for this fall are closed on this major, but for the others, we have 3 engineering majors, a ship-specific engineering major, facilities like shoreside power plants, dams, different things like that, and then our mechanical engineering major. We also have a business and logistics major and global studies, and our newest major is oceanography. So I just wanted to point out that the majors with the asterisk next to them, marine transportation, marine engineering technology, and mechanical engineering, those are the 3 majors that qualify for our military program on campus. So admissions requirements for Cal Maritime, if you are a California student, it's a 2.5 cumulative GPA for A through G courses, which are listed down here near the bottom. For those of you in Hawaii, it's going to be a 3.0 cumulative GPA. And you can find a translation of those courses for Hawaii's state schools, the equivalencies on our Cal State website. So now I want to talk to you about the military option that you can pursue at Cal Maritime, the Strategic Sealift Officer Program. So what is the Strategic Sealift Officer Program? We are made up of commissioned officers in the Navy Reserve, which is another unique thing about Cal Maritime. Our commissioning program, instead of going active duty, we can commission into the reserve. We provide maritime subject matter expertise to the Navy, whether that's how container ships work, how to transport oil. Those are the things that we specialize in. We maintain our civilian career. So you'll pursue a civilian career in what you majored in college, and then you'll also complete 2 weeks of active duty per year with the Navy. Our midshipmen, although we're set up to commission them into the reserve, you can also choose to seek an active duty commission in any branch of the armed forces. So for our students that choose to join the SSO program and seek a commission in the military, the Maritime Administration provides the Student Incentive Payment Program, which is a scholarship for $32,000 over the 4 years at school. And that will be used for tuition, uniforms, books, and subsistence. So obviously cut it short there, cut out a lot of the details, but I'm always available to talk about any of the specifics. My contact info is up there along with the school's webpage, the SSO specific webpage, and then how to apply to Cal State University. So thank you.
Thanks, Lieutenant. Thanks to all our presenters. I'd like to turn it back to Catherine.
Great, thank you. All great information shared, and so we really appreciate it. Thank you to each of you for joining us. As we close, there will be a very quick 4-question survey that will appear on your browser. If you don't mind taking a moment to fill that out for us, your feedback will be greatly appreciated. There are more sessions happening, so feel free to sign up for more sessions where you registered for this one. And lastly, this recording will be available a week from today at strivescan.com/Hawaii. Again, thank you all and have a great night. Have a great day.